Okay, so can a high-octane, cat and mouse thriller really be a profound meditation on urban isolation, human connection, and, well, the choices that define us? Today, we're plunging headfirst into the neon-drenched streets of Los Angeles with the 2004 film Collateral. It's a cinematic tour de force from the singular vision of director Michael Mann.
Absolutely.
And it's a film frequently cited as, a definitive example of modern American filmmaking, a true benchmark for its era. And by the end of our conversation, you'll understand exactly why.
And that's precisely our mission for this deep dive. We're going to peel back the layers of Collateral. We'll move beyond its surface as just a pulse-pounding action film to uncover its surprising thematic depth, its groundbreaking technical innovations, and, well, its indelible mark on the landscape of cinema.
Yeah.
By the time we wrap up, you, our listener, will have a streamlined understanding of why this film isn't just good, but truly stands out as a pivotal work, complete with some surprising facts and just enough engaging conversation to keep you utterly hooked.
Okay, let's start with the architect of this nocturnal odyssey, Michael Mann. His meticulous attention to detail and unparalleled atmospheric storytelling. It fundamentally transforms Los Angeles in Collateral.
It really does.
It's not merely a scenic backdrop for the narrative.
Yeah.
Mann elevates the city itself, making it a living, breathing character that profoundly shapes the story's mood, meaning, and even, the character's destiny.
Yeah, you feel the city pressing in. It's almost like this unseen, omnipresent entity guiding or sometimes hindering Max and Vincent's journey through the night.
Exactly. Less a location and more like a silent participant in Max's emotional prison, almost.
It's a remarkable achievement, and what's particularly striking is Mann's absolute mastery of restraint and precision throughout Collateral. He possesses this almost uncanny ability to infuse even the most mundane moments, like a brief taxi ride, a seemingly trivial phone conversation at a traffic light, or even just a fleeting glance between strangers with an unexpected sense of gravity and profound meaning. He finds this stark beauty in the stop-and-go rhythm of urban nightlife.
Turning those pauses into something more.
Exactly, turning every pause, every fleeting moment of quiet into a canvas for the character's internal turmoil. And this meticulousness isn't just about the visuals, it extends to the film's unhurried pacing.
Right, the real-time feel.
The entire narrative unfolds in something akin to real-time, spanning roughly 12 hours. This creates an unforced, almost unrushed feel, allowing the tension to build organically, slowly tightening its grip, and giving the characters space to develop naturally, unconstrained by, artificial narrative deadlines. It's a bold choice, really, a testament to his confidence in the material and his unwavering vision.
And his precision wasn't just confined to the cityscapes, right? Mann's approach to directing his actors, specifically Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, was, well, legendary in its intensity and dedication.
Absolutely.
He spent extensive, almost obsessive time with them, preparing for their roles, drilling down to ensure absolute authenticity in every gesture, every line of dialogue, every subtle inflection.
You can really feel that commitment radiating from their performances.
His famous obsession with realism pushed boundaries. It led him to have the actors spend significant time with actual Los Angeles taxi drivers, learning the nuances of the profession.
Not just the routes, but the whole rhythm of it.
Exactly. The customer interaction, the solitary hours, the subtle anxieties of the job. And then, in a move that truly speaks to his commitment to psychological truth, they even observed professional hitmen through FBI consultations.
Yeah, of course, all within legal boundaries, as you'd expect. But the intent was to understand the mindset, the cold logic, the detached rationale.
Right.
This wasn't about recreating cinematic stereotypes. It was about digging into the raw, often uncomfortable psychological truth of these characters, giving them an unsettling groundedness.
Now, if we're talking about revolutionary aspects of Collateral, here's where it becomes genuinely fascinating.
Right.
One of the film's most pioneering elements was its groundbreaking embrace of digital cinematography, specifically utilizing the Thompson Grass Valley Viper film stream camera.
That Viper camera, yeah.
This wasn't some kind of technical gimmick or, a budget-saving shortcut. It was a profoundly essential artistic choice, fundamental to telling the story Mann envisioned.
Absolutely. He wanted to capture the nocturnal soul of Los Angeles in a way that traditional film cameras simply couldn't achieve with the same raw, unfiltered authenticity.
He saw something in that digital image.
He really did. You're absolutely right. The core reason digital cameras were so profoundly crucial for Collateral was their exceptional sensitivity to low light.
Okay.
This allowed Mann and his cinematographers, Paul Cameron and Dion Bibe, to capture the authentic, existing glow of Los Angeles at night. You know, the street lights, the neon signs, the reflections off wet asphalt, without needing expensive artificial lighting setups.
Who would just kill the mood.
Totally. Traditional film would have required huge, intrusive lighting rigs that would have utterly destroyed the natural, lived-in atmosphere Mann was after. Instead of trying to artificially brighten the darkness, they embraced it. They let the city's inherent luminescence paint the scene.
And the digital noise, that became part of it.
Yeah. And what's truly captivating is how the inherent digital noise, which can often be a bane in low-light digital shooting, became a deliberate aesthetic choice. It functioned almost as a new form of film grain, that distinct textural pattern you see on traditional celluloid film. This digital texture actually added a raw, almost gritty authenticity to every frame, enhancing the realism rather than detracting from it. Now, if we connect this to the broader picture, this film wasn't just using new tech, it pushed the very boundaries of what digital cinema could achieve. It powerfully proved its viability and artistic potential for major feature productions.
It basically legitimized digital for studio filmmaking moving forward.
Exactly. Opened doors for countless directors who followed.
And the visual language they created wasn't just technically impressive, it was deeply artistic and, well, psychological. Cinematographers Paul Cameron and Dion Bibe worked in lockstep with Mann to craft a visual language that directly reflects the character's internal states and the film's themes. You feel the precise, often handheld camera work.
Yeah, it puts you right there.
Almost like a third character trapped in that taxi, putting you right there, breathing the same tense air as Max and Vincent. They famously shot almost entirely on practical locations throughout Los Angeles.
Real places.
Right, from the constant flow of traffic around LAX airport with actual planes landing overhead to the specific neon-drenched streets of Koreatown, full of real people going about their lives.
That creates an unparalleled, almost visceral sense of place. A lived-in authenticity that even the most meticulously constructed studio sets could never hope to achieve.
Absolutely. It grounded the heightened reality of the narrative in a tangible, breathing, and at times menacing urban world. So beyond the groundbreaking visuals, Collateral is really a masterclass in holistic technical excellence, especially its immersive sound design.
Oh, the sound is incredible.
The film doesn't just have a soundtrack, it actively constructs an urban environment that feels profoundly alive, and often profoundly oppressive through its ambient noise.
You're constantly aware of the city's hum.
Yeah, the ceaseless drone of traffic, the distant, mournful wail of sirens, the low, steady thrum of the air conditioning unit in the taxi, the crackle of radio chatter, the faint echoes of the bustling city outside.
All these meticulously layered elements contribute to the film's unique atmosphere, making Los Angeles feel like a character that is simultaneously vibrant, alluring, and at times incredibly suffocating for Max, mirroring his trapped state.
Totally.
And the musical score, composed by the brilliant James Newton Howard, is equally masterful in its remarkable subtlety.
It's not in your face.
Not at all. It's less a traditional score and more an atmospheric soundscape. It enhances the tension and the film's emotional depths without ever announcing itself or becoming overly dramatic. What's particularly compelling is how the more orchestral elements within the score often subtly reflect the film's broader, more philosophical themes of technology versus humanity, creating this sonic landscape that mirrors the profound, often unsettling discussions between Max and Vincent.
And the jazz.
Yeah, there's also the strategic, almost surprising use of jazz music in certain scenes. In a fascinating way, these jazz cues appreciate Vincent's surprisingly sophisticated tastes.
Right, the hitman who loves jazz.
Creating this intriguing, almost unsettling contrast with his brutal profession. It subtly hints at the complex, almost cultured layers of this seemingly amoral character.
The film's production design, too, plays a crucial, often unsung role in creating this palpably authentic Los Angeles. It consciously avoids both excessive glamorization and unnecessary gritty squalor. It strikes a delicate balance that feels genuinely real, presenting the city as it is, not as some kind of cliché.
Right. The diverse range of locations, from the sleek upscale nightclubs to the dilapidated rundown apartments, vividly portrays the varied social strata and hidden corners of the sprawling city.
And we have to talk about the taxi itself. It morphs from just a vehicle into a crucial design element.
It's essentially a mobile set.
Exactly. Meticulously designed to accommodate complex camera movements and lighting setups, while somehow maintaining a realistic, cramped, and authentic feel for the characters trapped within its confines.
That's a great point. And even the costume design subtly yet powerfully reinforces character development.
Vincent's suit.
Vincent's immaculate, almost unnervingly pristine gray suit speaks volumes about his professionalism, his chilling detachment, his almost corporate, business-like approach to his brutal work. It's a uniform that sets him apart.
A sign of his self-imposed isolation and control.
Exactly. And in stark contrast, Max's casual, slightly rumpled clothes reflect his working-class status, his initial lack of ambition, and his general lack of pretension.
Yeah, they both get messier as the night goes on.
Right. As the night spirals into chaos, both characters' clothing gradually becomes increasingly disheveled and stained. It's a powerful visual metaphor mirroring their internal transformation and the unraveling of their tightly controlled personas.
Yeah.
This subtle visual cue highlights Max's terrifying transition from a complacent, dreaming individual to someone fighting desperately for his life, and Vincent's descent into a more raw, unhinged, and primal state as his night unfolds unpredictably.
The editing by Jim Miller and Paul Rebell is another unsung hero here. It's a true masterclass in pacing.
Brilliant editing.
It brilliantly maintains relentless tension while allowing crucial character moments and philosophical exchanges to breathe. The pacing never feels artificially rushed, even during the most intense action sequences.
No, it doesn't. They use subtle yet incredibly effective techniques, like lingering on reactions, allowing a character's face to tell a silent story for an extra beat, or strategically cutting away at crucial moments, inviting the audience's imagination to fill in the harrowing gaps. This builds sequences with a natural, almost organic rhythm, rather than that frantic, artificially accelerated pace you might see in less sophisticated thrillers.
Yeah, you feel the weight of those moments.
And crucially, the editing powerfully reinforces the film's core themes. You'll notice the deliberate use of quick, almost jarring cuts during violent scenes,
Making the violence feel sudden, chaotic.
and almost meaningless in its fleeting execution. This starkly contrasts with the longer, more contemplative takes used during the profound character moments, particularly the deep conversations in the taxi.
Those longer takes suggest something different.
They suggest, perhaps, that human connections, vulnerability, and introspection require time and attention to truly develop and be understood, while violence is merely a fleeting, destructive act. It's a deliberate, almost philosophical choice that elevates the film far beyond mere action.
Okay, let's shift our focus now to the beating heart of Collateral. The unforgettable performances that truly bring this nocturnal odyssey to life. Tom Cruise's portrayal of Vincent. It's often cited as arguably the single best performance of his storied career.
It really might be.
What makes Vincent so utterly compelling, so chillingly distinct from Cruise's more typical heroic characters, is how he embodies this terrifyingly methodical, almost chillingly efficient killer, who operates with an unsettling sense of logic and professional detachment.
Vincent is indeed a methodical contract killer who manages to be simultaneously charming, disarmingly philosophical, and terrifyingly efficient. A truly unsettling combination.
It was a huge departure for Cruise.
A significant, audacious departure. A calculated risk that paid off spectacularly. His preparation was legendary in its intensity. Cruise immersed himself, studying FBI agents, observing the behavioral patterns of real criminals, understanding the cold, logical pathways of their minds.
So Vincent isn't just a caricature.
Exactly. This ensured that Vincent isn't a one-dimensional, cartoonish villain. He's a complex, deeply unsettling individual who has meticulously rationalized his profession into a cold, detached form of urban sanitation, almost like an exterminator of human beings.
Thrilling.
His performance is a marvel of control and precision, radiating a natural, almost magnetic charisma that makes him simultaneously attractive and utterly repulsive. You find yourself drawn to his intellect and confidence even as you're profoundly repelled by his monstrous actions.
And the sheer physicality Cruise brings to Vincent, is just remarkable. It's almost a silent language in itself.
It really is. His movements are incredibly economical, purposeful, and imbued with an almost predatory grace.
Every gesture seems calculated.
Every gesture, from the subtle way Vincent stands his surroundings for threats, to his unnervingly casual confidence in the face of extreme danger, speaks volumes about his expertise, his discipline, and his chilling detachment.
But what's truly unsettling, what really adds layers to this character, is his genuine, almost childlike appreciation for Max's unexpected company.
Yeah, that bizarre bond.
And the bizarre, strained bond that forms between them, despite the horrifying life or death circumstances. It adds an unsettling touch of humanity to a character who is, at his core, deeply inhuman. Creates a fascinating contradiction. Now let's turn our attention to Jamie Foxx as Max DeRocher. Before Collateral, Foxx was mostly known for comedy and music, right?
Primarily, yeah. His dramatic turn here was stunning.
His transformation to a powerhouse dramatic actor was nothing short of stunning. He portrays Max as a man who is, at his core, a dreamer, but one who is tragically settled into a stifling routine.
A man with aspirations.
Of owning his own luxury car service, but who, over the years, has learned to accept less, to merely exist within the confines of his taxi. A prisoner of his own inaction.
It's a performance that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever felt stuck, ever felt their dreams slipping away.
Definitely.
Foxx's preparation for this role was just as rigorous and immersive as Cruise's, maybe even more so. He truly committed, spending months driving taxis in Los Angeles.
Really getting into it.
Not just to understand the routes and traffic patterns, but to intimately grasp the profession, the long, lonely hours, the subtle, often unseen interactions between drivers and their myriad passengers, the feeling of being an anonymous, fleeting presence in countless lives. His performance perfectly captures the quiet, simmering desperation of someone who habitually talks about their grand dreams of starting that limo company, but who, deep down, has seemingly stopped believing in them, burying those aspirations under years of safe, predictable routine.
You see it in his eyes, in his posture.
You really do, in his slumped shoulders.
And this is where the film's character journey and Foxx's performance becomes truly compelling. Max is a character who, over the course of this terrifying night, is forcibly confronted with his own ingrained passivity.
The whole night is a crucible for him.
A terrifying high-stakes test that he never asked for. What's so brilliant about Foxx's nuanced performance is how he gradually, almost imperceptibly, transforms the character from a terrified victim into a reluctant, but ultimately resolute, hero.
It's not sudden.
No, this evolution isn't sudden or forced. It's subtle, believable, and utterly earned. You witness the fear and the slow, burning ember of defiance build within him, transforming him from a shrinking violet into someone who finally decides to fight back.
Foxx truly excels at conveying Max's intense internal struggle, often communicating profound emotional shifts through nothing more than subtle expressions, involuntary twitches, and nuanced body language.
Especially when he can't speak.
Yes. Particularly remarkable and powerful in the scenes where he's forced to remain silent, an unwilling accomplice and horrified observer, while Vincent conducts his brutal, detached business. You can visibly see the terror, the agonizing moral conflict, and the gradually burgeoning courage etched onto his face, in his posture, in the way he grips the steering wheel.
All without a word.
All without a single word being spoken. It's a masterclass in nonverbal communication, conveying a maelstrom of emotions within the confines of that taxi.
And the film's excellence isn't just the two leads. The strength and depth of the supporting cast are equally remarkable. They add significant layers of realism and tension.
Absolutely. They populate this world with believable individuals, each playing their part in Max's terrifying night.
They make the big impact in short screen time.
Indeed. Even in their relatively brief appearances, these supporting actors make a profound and lasting impact. Jada Pinkett Smith as Annie, Max's potential client and love interest.
Right, Annie
is portrayed as intelligent, competent, and determined. She establishes a palpable, believable chemistry with Foxx in their early scenes, creating an emotional anchor, a glimmer of hope for Max's future, which then heightens the stakes for his harrowing journey throughout the night.
And Mark Ruffalo is the detective.
Mark Ruffalo, playing Detective Ray Fanning, brings his trademark naturalistic acting style to create a thoroughly believable LAPD detective. He's a dedicated, persistent cop, tirelessly trying to piece together the escalating chaos.
Grounding the film.
His quiet resolve grounding the film's more heightened elements in a tangible sense of police procedure and grim reality. Every moment he's on screen counts, making him feel like a real person rather than just a convenient plot device.
And Javier Bardem.
Wow. And then there's Javier Bardem as Felix. He delivers a truly memorable supporting role, a chilling cameo. His intensity and chilling unpredictability, even in his very short appearance, create genuine, gut-wrenching tension.
Yeah, that scene is tense.
And serve as a visceral reminder of the vast, dangerous, and utterly amoral underworld Vincent operates within. His scene is brief, but it's unforgettable.
Okay, let's dig deeper now into the narrative architecture itself. The screenplay for Collateral, penned by Stuart Beattie and refined by Mann,
Right.
is truly a masterclass in character-driven storytelling. It operates on multiple sophisticated levels simultaneously. It's a gripping, high-stakes thriller. It's a profound, intimate character study of two vastly different men, and perhaps most strikingly, it's a haunting meditation on urban alienation in the modern world.
It's genuinely rare to see a film juggle so many complex hats so effectively, blending them seamlessly into a cohesive, captivating whole.
It really works on all those levels.
And what's particularly captivating here is how the central, utterly bizarre relationship between Max and Vincent doesn't just drive the plot forward, it truly is the entire narrative.
The core of it.
Their often unsettling conversations aren't mere filler or exposition. They organically unfold to reveal deep, fundamental philosophical differences about the nature of life, the illusion of choice, and the burden of responsibility.
Vincent's nihilism versus Max's hope, initially.
Yeah, Vincent, with his stark nihilistic worldview, this belief that life is inherently without meaning or purpose, leading to a rejection of traditional moral values, argues that most people are already dead, metaphorically speaking.
Just going through the motions.
Simply going through the motions without truly living or making active, conscious choices. Max, in stark contrast, initially clings to a naive, perhaps even delusional optimism, despite the mounting, horrifying evidence against it throughout the night.
But the debates feel natural.
What makes these profound debates so compelling is that they feel utterly organic, growing naturally from their impossible life or death situation, rather than sounding like pre-scripted philosophy lessons awkwardly tacked onto an action movie. They are the essence of the conflict.
The screenplay's structure is also incredibly clever and efficient. Each hit Vincent must complete throughout the night serves a distinct and vital narrative purpose beyond just advancing the plot.
Right, each stop means something.
Each stop introduces you to a different facet of Los Angeles's diverse social strata, from the pulsating energy of a jazz club to the chilling anonymity of a rundown apartment building, each location adding another layer to the city itself.
And these stops systematically escalate the tension with each new discovery. Critically, they continually peel back deeper layers of both Max and Vincent's characters, pushing them further towards their breaking points.
It avoids the usual cliches, too.
The script brilliantly sidesteps typical action movie cliches, opting instead for quieter, more unsettling moments of profound revelation. A charged conversation in a cramped taxi, a chillingly calm observation, or a chance, fateful encounter at a hospital. It subverts expectations.
And the dialogue feels so real.
And the authentic feeling dialogue further grounds the film in an unsettling realism. It truly captures the nuanced, sometimes disjointed way people actually speak in the real world, rather than neatly composed monologues.
People interrupt, trail off.
Exactly. Characters frequently interrupt each other, their thoughts trail off unfinished, and they communicate through implication, unspoken subtext, or subtle physical cues. These techniques create incredibly naturalistic, raw conversations, even amidst the incredibly heightened and life-or-death circumstances.
Adds that layer of raw, unvarnished truth and urgency. Makes you feel like you're eavesdropping.
Totally, like you're right there in that dangerous interaction.
Let's delve into this profound concept of urban alienation. It isn't just present in the film, it permeates every single frame.
It's everywhere.
Los Angeles itself becomes a central character representing modern disconnection, a sprawling paradox. You witness millions of people living side by side, their lives interweaving in superficial ways, yet remaining fundamentally alone.
Isolated in their cars, their apartment.
Their anonymous apartments, their predictable routines. It's a powerful, almost heartbreaking commentary on the paradox of hyper-connected, densely populated cities where genuine, deep human connection remains elusive.
How can so many be so close yet feel so utterly distant? It's a core question.
It really is.
The film profoundly suggests that genuine human connection, the kind that truly matters and transforms us, inherently requires immense risk and profound vulnerability qualities that urban life, with its constant emphasis on self-preservation, anonymity, and guardedness, often actively discourages.
It's easier to stay detached.
It's far easier and perhaps safer to remain a stranger among millions than to open yourself up to risk exposure or rejection. Max and Vincent, in their own twisted way, represent two extremes of this urban isolation forcibly thrown together.
And we see potent examples of this alienation woven throughout the film. Max, for instance, has meticulously concealed his fervent dreams of starting that luxury transportation company.
For 12 years.
Keeping them bottled up for a staggering 12 years, trapped in a cycle of procrastination and fear. He also initially conceals his philosophical discussions and surprising cultural sophistication from others.
Maybe fearing judgment, maybe just staying in his comfort zone.
Presenting a simplified version of himself to the world. And Vincent, of course, masterfully conceals his brutal, amoral profession behind a veneer of sophisticated charm and detached intellect.
Showcasing the ultimate form of emotional and moral disconnection.
A man utterly alone in his gruesome world by his own design.
Collateral explicitly explores the profound and timeless theme of choice versus fate. Vincent, with his chillingly pragmatic and nihilistic worldview, relentlessly argues that most people are, in his cynical view, already dead.
Metaphorically speaking.
Right, metaphorically. That they are merely going through the motions of existence without truly living, without making active, conscious choices, without ever seizing control of their own narratives. They are, to him, just passengers in their own lives, passively accepting whatever comes their way.
And Max initially seems to be a walking, talking embodiment of Vincent's cynical point. He's been planning to start his luxury car service, his grand dream, for that staggering 12 years, always deferring it to someday.
Trapped in that comfortable yet soul-crushing cycle of passive dreaming and inaction.
But the terrifying, utterly unexpected events of this single night, however, force him to make a stark, undeniable choice.
Either continue his lifelong pattern of debilitating passivity, allowing Vincent to dictate his fate, or finally, heroically, take terrifying control of his life and destiny.
Even if it means risking absolutely everything.
Including his very existence. It's that stark.
The movie also delves deeply into the complex and often thorny subjects of masculinity and violence, presenting two starkly contrasting ideals.
Yeah, it really examines that. Vincent represents a toxic, controlling form of masculinity. He believes violence is not only natural, but a necessary, even elegant tool for imposing order.
And sentiment is weakness.
And he views sentimentality, empathy, or weakness as flaws to be discarded, barriers to efficiency. Max, on the other hand, comes to embody a very different masculine ideal, one centered on protection, self-sacrifice, and ultimately emotional honesty and vulnerability.
So their conflict isn't just physical survival.
No, it becomes a profound ideological battle between these two competing visions of manhood, each trying to assert dominance not just physically, but morally and existentially. It's a clash of worldviews.
So Collateral didn't just arrive. It landed with seismic impact at a truly crucial moment in cinema history. It marked what many film historians consider Michael Mann's distinct second era of filmmaking.
Absolutely, a period where he boldly embraced new technologies and techniques to tell intimate, gritty, and deeply modern stories, redefining his own artistic boundaries and influencing countless filmmakers who came after him.
And its impact on the trajectory of digital cinematography. Well, it simply cannot be overstated.
No, it really can't. Collateral wasn't just a film that happened to use digital cameras. It actively and definitively legitimized digital cinematography for major studio productions. It tore down the lingering skepticism and paved the way for countless films that followed in its wake.
Connecting this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it was an undeniable turning point.
A huge turning point for how movies were made, proving conclusively that digital could not only achieve cinematic quality, but could in fact excel, especially in challenging low-light conditions. It didn't just usher in a new era, it kicked the door wide open.
And beyond just the camera technology, the film's gritty, hyper-realistic portrayal of Los Angeles and its bustling urban nightlife profoundly influenced subsequent movies attempting to depict cityscapes with authenticity.
Mann's realistic, almost documentary-like approach to shooting entirely on authentic, often live locations, rather than relying on meticulously constructed studio sets, that proved incredibly effective.
It set a new standard.
It really did. It set an entirely new standard for how cities could be depicted on screen. It demonstrated unequivocally that real environments, with their inherent chaos and spontaneous details, could add an immense, unparalleled depth that even the most elaborate set could never replicate.
And Tom Cruise's performance as Vincent, that became almost an instant template, didn't it?
It really did. A template for sophisticated, nuanced villains in modern cinema. His unique and unsettling combination of disarming charm, palpable menace, and surprisingly well-articulated philosophical justifications for his horrific actions created a new archetype for antagonists in later films.
So this raises an important question for us to consider. How did this single performance, so radically different from Cruise's previous work, redefine what audiences not only expected but demanded from a compelling action villain?
Moving far beyond two-dimensional evil to something much more complex, unsettling, and disturbingly human. That's the legacy there.
When you look behind the scenes of Collateral, the sheer extent of the preparation and the meticulous attention to detail involved in its production are truly astonishing.
It really is something else.
It wasn't merely about what you saw on screen. It was about the profound, almost fanatical commitment to the process that permeated every single aspect of the filmmaking. It's the kind of dedication that Hollywood, frankly, rarely sees.
Absolutely. The commitment to authentic Los Angeles locations was immense and logistically challenging. Shooting at active, bustling places like LAX Airport, the vibrant streets of Koreatown, even places in Pico Rivera.
That involved incredibly complex logistics.
Right, requiring precise timing and incredible coordination to blend seamlessly with real life. But this dedication, this refusal to compromise, contributed immeasurably to the film's realistic and utterly immersive atmosphere.
And that taxi crash.
And consider this amazing detail. For the climactic taxi crash, Jamie Foxx actually drove the vehicle with Tom Cruise in the back seat. This wasn't a stunt double, it was the actual lead actors.
That's insane commitment.
This astounding level of commitment to practical effects over easy digital substitutes demonstrated the production's unwavering belief in a hands-on, visceral approach that extended throughout the entire making of the film, adding a tangible rawness to the action.
And the cast's intensive preparation was just as impressive, mirroring Mann's own dedication. Tom Cruise, for example, worked extensively with firearms experts
to ensure his handling of weapons was utterly convincing, fluid, instinctual, not choreographed.
And he delved deeply into criminal psychology, studying real-world cases, to truly understand Vincent's detached, rationalized mindset, how a killer might justify his actions.
Meanwhile, Jamie Foxx devoted months to driving Los Angeles taxis, learning not just the mechanics of the job, the traffic patterns, the quickest routes.
To the human side.
Critically, the subtle social dynamics, the fleeting connections, and the emotional demands between drivers and their myriad passengers. That deep immersion in their roles made all the difference, making their performances feel less like acting and more like inhabiting.
Michael Mann's research process, true to form, was characteristically thorough to an extreme, a hallmark of his filmmaking.
Meticulous doesn't even cover it.
He meticulously interviewed law enforcement officials, studied actual case files of professional killers, examining their patterns and motivations, and painstakingly observed the intricate rhythms and unique pulse of Los Angeles nightlife, absorbing every visual and auditory detail.
This exhaustive, almost academic research informed every single aspect of the production, from the authentic cadence of the dialogue to the granular visual details you see on screen, like the reflections in puddles or the specific glow of a street lamp.
It's that profound foundation of reality that allows the film's more heightened, almost surreal elements to truly resonate and feel terrifyingly plausible.
And Collateral truly stands as an undisputed landmark in the pivotal transition from traditional celluloid film to the nascent world of digital cinematography.
It wasn't just using the tech, it was pioneering it.
It was, in essence, a high-stakes beta tester for the Thompson Grass Valley Viper Filmstream camera, putting the technology through its paces in a major studio production under the most demanding conditions.
And the film's undeniable success proved definitively that digital cinematography could create images that were not just equivalent to film, but in certain crucial respects, offered artistic advantages for specific purposes.
Particularly, it excelled at replicating authentic, vibrant, yet often shadowy nighttime scenes without requiring extensive, often artificial lighting that would have fundamentally destroyed the natural ambience and gritty realism Mann was after.
This wasn't just a technical win. It genuinely opened up vast new possibilities for realistic, moody filmmaking, influencing everything from intimate dramas to big action thrillers.
Furthermore, the movie's revolutionary approach to prioritizing practical, real-world locations over meticulously constructed studio sets helped firmly establish a powerful trend toward location-based filmmaking that continues to dominate the industry today.
Mann's bold decision to use actual Los Angeles locations, despite the inherent logistical complexities and spontaneous challenges,
Clearly demonstrated how authentic environments could genuinely enhance storytelling, adding layers of texture and immersion that even the most meticulously designed sets simply could not match. It showed that the city itself could be a collaborator.
This film, as you might expect given all we've discussed, justly received widespread critical acclaim and significant awards recognition from across the industry.
It was really well received.
It was particularly lauded for its audacious technical innovations and, of course, its outstanding transformative performances. Jamie Foxx's dramatic breakthrough was undeniable,
Cementing his place as a versatile talent.
and culminating in his well-deserved Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his unforgettable role as Max.
And the film's technical achievements had a profound and widespread ripple effect throughout the entire industry. Cinematography organizations worldwide, recognizing the revolutionary results Mann achieved with the Viper camera, were compelled to finally legitimize digital filmmaking within the industry's highest echelons.
It forced people to take digital seriously.
Professional cinematographers, many of whom might have been deeply skeptical of digital before, were prompted to fundamentally reconsider its artistic possibilities after seeing what Mann accomplished with Collateral. It was a true, unequivocal game changer, not just for one film, but for the future of cinema itself.
So 20 years after its initial release, Collateral remains an undeniable modern classic, a true benchmark of contemporary cinema.
Absolutely.
It flawlessly combines unparalleled technical innovation with deeply compelling character-driven storytelling, creating a film that works beautifully and profoundly, both as exhilarating entertainment and as enduring art.
Its immense influence on digital cinematography alone would secure its significant place in film history. Most importantly, Collateral powerfully demonstrates that genre films, like this gritty thriller, can absolutely achieve immense artistic significance and intellectual depth without ever abandoning their core entertainment value.
It proves audiences respond to that depth.
Exactly. It proves that audiences respond enthusiastically and deeply to sophisticated storytelling, complex, multifaceted characters, and meaningful, resonant themes when they are expertly wrapped in compelling narrative frameworks.
It stands as a powerful testament to what Hollywood cinema can achieve when technical innovation, unwavering artistic vision, and exceptional craftsmanship align perfectly.
It remains absolutely essential viewing for anyone interested in understanding how modern movies are made and how traditional, timeless storytelling can be profoundly enhanced and redefined by new technologies and bold artistic choices.
So what does all of this mean for you? We've taken a deep dive into Collateral, exploring its pioneering digital filmmaking, its deeply etched, unforgettable characters, and the profound philosophical themes subtly woven into its high-stakes narrative.
It's a film that continually surprises with its layers of depth, despite its thrilling, often brutal premise.
Yeah, there's so much under the surface.
Remember, knowledge is most valuable when it's truly understood and thoughtfully applied. If we connect this to the broader picture, Collateral serves as an incredibly rich blueprint for understanding advancements across multiple cinematic disciplines, from groundbreaking technique to nuanced character development and profound thematic depth in modern storytelling.
It's compelling proof that a seemingly straightforward genre film can actually be a masterclass across multiple intertwined facets of filmmaking.
It really is.
So as you reflect on this deep dive, perhaps the next time you're navigating a bustling city at night, whether it's Los Angeles or anywhere else, how might Collateral influence your appreciation of those urban spaces, those fleeting connections, that beautiful oppressive solitude? Or perhaps, how might it even make you reconsider the choices we all make when faced with life's unexpected encounters, large or small, and the paths they force us to confront?
It makes you think.
It really does. We genuinely encourage you to rewatch or discover for the first time Collateral with these new insights in mind. We think you'll see it in a whole new light.